What is happening, Gothamites? K-Wing here, and today we're diving into spoilers for The Batman. That's right, Robert Pattinson's Batman. It's time. More right after this. Now, I know a lot of you have been waiting for me to talk about The Batman, and I found some very interesting things about the movie, as well as I'm going to share with you guys some theories of mine, how the movie's going to go, as well as leading to possible sequels with a Catwoman spinoff on HBO Max, along with the Gotham PD show that may or may not have Batman himself, Robert Pattinson, showing up. So the following video will be spoilers. I have not seen a lot of things. This is based on rumors, synopsises that are out there, all internationally, and we're going to dive into the movie itself. So let's jump into it. Also, we have this really nice picture of the Batmobile covered in snow, which I just can't pass up, so we're just going to do that. Okay, cool. So, what's going on with the Batman movie? It comes out in just a few short months. After my birthday month in February, then we have the Batman movie, and it's going to be pretty interesting. The film has kind of like a Zodiac killer, which is the Riddler, going around wiping out people that may or may not be associated with Bruce Wayne and have big roles in Gotham. The Riddler also knows who Batman is, and he's messing with him to try and provoke him to either go too far or whatever. From what we've heard about the film so far is the Batman doesn't kill in it. This would actually be the first Batman since Clooney, although technically you could argue Clooney killed people, but that's a video for another day. This could be the first Batman since Clooney not to actually kill someone, or manslaughter, or full-blown murder, you know, any of that, which is actually pretty comforting to think about because outside of the animated series, that doesn't really happen anymore. Whenever people see a film Batman, they interpret, you know, murder and death, and he has to kill people because, you know, if he just lets them out of Arkham, what's going to go on with that? So, I mean, that's kind of what people's mindset is with that. But, yeah, likely he will not kill, and the Riddler is trying to provoke him to kill so that he can prove that Batman is no different than him. Now, the interesting thing about the film is we know that the Riddler is a serial killer, and that we know that he is aware of who Batman is, and also he knows Batman because he's been following him his whole life. See, the Riddler has known Batman since childhood, and this kind of provokes him to mess with Batman in a sense. Now, this is a very different take on the Batman mythos. Usually the childhood friend of Bruce Wayne is a couple people. It could be the Rachel Dawes character we had in Batman Begins. It could be Harvey Dent, somebody he's known since high school. Or it could be Oswald Cobblepot, someone who Bruce knew when he was a child, and then, of course, his father shipped Oswald off to military school, and he became a very bad man. Oswald's dad did not like Cobblepot, obviously, and which we saw in Batman Returns, a nice interpretation of that. You know, he forgived his parents for getting rid of him because he was kind of freakish. But, of course, in the comics, Penguin doesn't have, like, a really grotesque look to him. That was more of Tim Burton's reimagining of the character to make him more terrifying, right? So, in The Batman, the Riddler has known Bruce since probably grade school. Maybe they went to the same orphanage. There's a rumor going around that Bruce Wayne is not really the blood son of Thomas and Martha Wayne, which was an idea that was kind of explored in the Joker movie, and it has been on some Elseworlds, where Lincoln March is the real son of the Waynes, and Bruce is kind of like this adopted guy. So either Nigma and Bruce were at the same orphanage together as kids, and, you know, Riddler is mad at Bruce for being adopted over him, or they went to the same school growing up. I like to think that they went to the same grade school, because the picture that's floating around by the Riddler, you see that Nigma and Bruce are in like some type of children's choir, and you can see that Riddler is very jealous of his parents' situation. So likely how I deduce is I think that Riddler actually comes from a broken home, whereas Bruce came from a loving environment, and that's another reason why he doesn't like Bruce Wayne. And, you know, when he thought Bruce would go crazy when his parents were killed, Bruce didn't really succumb to that darkness. He channels that darkness as Batman, and Riddler's not really cool with that. Another element of the film that we're going to see a lot of is Catwoman, where she is also a childhood friend. Let me read a synopsis for you. This comes internationally. Gotham is being hit by a gruesome series of crimes that the police has been long unable to cope with. Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, does what he can, but also reaches his limits. The Penguin has a hand in it, but he is only one in an all-encompassing swamp of the city. The reappearance of his childhood friend Selina Kyle, alias Catwoman, creates additional emotional confusion in the angry fighter for justice. So you can see right there, that's also very different, because usually in the Batman Year One, which Catwoman is modeled after that version of Selina Kyle, she is someone that doesn't know Bruce or Batman, and later on in the Batman mythos, they begin to date, and he's never known her before. So they're kind of combining like the Rachel Dawes role for Bruce, and they're having Selina and Bruce kind of be in that same circle, like they knew each other. Possibly she was a like school friend, like grade school, like Eddie, or maybe they knew each other because their parents were wealthy, which could tie into the rumor that the Waynes were Dons. Now, if you don't know this or not, this might be spoilers for some of you, but Catwoman is supposedly a member of the Falcones, which is something that was teased in The Long Halloween, and the Long Halloween animated movie, rather Part 2, went a little further, and as Falcone was dying, basically said, "You're my daughter." And she was like, "Dad," and they had this moment, and then he bled out and died because Two-Face shot him. But yeah, in the comics, it's not really well known if she's a member of the Falcones or not. In fact, they expanded on that in a comic called Catwoman When in Rome, which is considered part of the Long Halloween trilogy or saga or whatever you want to call it, that hints at the idea that Selina Kyle may or may not be a Falcone. So if she has known Bruce since she was a little girl, and, you know, leading into the whole Falcone thing like they did with the Telltale thing, so that would show how Selina and Batman have a connection. So either the childhood connection came from their parents, or, as some people are theorizing, that Bruce Wayne, Eddie, and Catwoman all came from the same orphanage. Now, I don't know what is what. Like I said, this could be spoilers. I like to lean toward more like, you know, she's a socialite. That's how she knows how to be a socialite. Like later in the movie, you see her doing different things as Selina Kyle. She's going to fancy parties. She changes wigs. It's not just about her robbing people. Maybe she's doing the thing in the animated series where she's using her vast wealth that she steals from the rich and gives to the poor, like kind of a Robin Hood, but also taking care of the animals, mainly cats. Catwoman is a big cat lady, which you saw in the new trailer, where Batman's like, "That's a lot of cats." And she's like, "I have a thing for strays." So, you know, that was kind of cute. But I hope they lead into more about that. Since this is supposed to be a year 2 story, you're probably not going to see Robin. You might get some mentions of the Court of Owls. That rumor is still kind of going around that the Court of Owls are going to appear in the movie, or at least be hinted at, so that they can be brought into the film universe in later stories. And if they do introduce Dick Grayson at the end of this movie, at the climax, then they could very well change Dick Grayson's origin for a future film. Instead of dealing with the traditional, you know, mobsters killed my family, it could be like, well, mobsters killed my family and then Batman saved me from becoming a Talon. But I really feel that Court of Owls stories work better when Dick Grayson is Nightwing, not so much when he's Robin. Because, you know, he's still Batman's protege, and then as Nightwing, since he's his own hero and his own man, makes things more compelling and interesting, which we'll see in the Gotham Knights video game. So I don't really want them to go too far into that. Again, it's been rumored for a long time that Dick Grayson is going to appear in the Matt Reeves trilogy, like kind of an adaptation of the Dark Victory story, which would be great, because this movie is an adaptation of elements of Batman Year 1, Batman Year 2, and The Long Halloween, along with some other stuff like Batman 0 Year, which is or 0 Hour, 0 Year, I forget the one, where Riddler takes over the city and holds it hostage, and it's during the New 52, and Batman has to face the Riddler. He hobbles together a bat suit that kind of looks like his first appearance suit from the 1930s when he's battling the Red Hood first. So there's a lot of possibilities. Some people are still saying that Joker is rumored to appear in the movie. I hope not. One of the key things that I would like to see in Matt Reeves' reimagining of the Batman franchise is that they save Joker for a third film. I think that how they should focus right now is they already have Catwoman, Riddler and Penguin in one movie. In the second movie, they should deal with probably Harvey Dent and Dick Grayson, and maybe not so much Selina. Let her have her own solo movie or like series on HBO Max, and expand on the relationship and the partnership between Batman and Robin, because that's something we've never really seen before, and that was something that was supposed to be teased in flashbacks for Ben Affleck's Batman that we never got, with Robin supposedly making a at least post-mortius appearance in the Batman in flashbacks, as it would tie into Slade's son who was killed by Batman. You know, the kind of like duality of that is part of the reason why Slade hated Batman in the Batman script originally, which is interesting because it's like a figure from Batman's past, Ben Affleck being Slade, and a figure from Batman's past, the Riddler, being Eddie in the Batman. They kind of are very similar ideas. Different executions, mind you, but very similar. But yeah, everybody has this misconception that I am not excited about the Batman movie. I think it's going to be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to it. I get a lot of animated series vibes from it. I really like the fact that Batman doesn't kill. I was really thrown for a loop when Warner Brothers was having me be an influencer and promote BVS when they gave me all this reading material about the Batman and Superman leading into the movie, and it talked about how Batman wasn't a killer. And then, of course, in the movie, we saw that he was, like, indirectly killing people. So it could show even back then, Warner Brothers and Zack Snyder's, like, infighting. Like, Warner Brothers had a certain way they wanted to see Batman, and, of course, Zack Snyder had his way, and Ben Affleck had his interpretation. So there was, like, 3 interpretations for the same Batman, and it just didn't work. What I love about Matt Reeves' movie is this is a Batman that has been pushed to the brink, and he's going to go through a lot of trauma, but he's not going to give in to that. He stares at the abyss, but he doesn't fall in, from what I hear, which is good. Even though things are going to get really messy for him, he's not going to take the easy way out and kill somebody. He's going to mess you up real bad, but he's not going to quite cross that line. Selina's probably going to kill people. I could see Selina killing Penguin or something, or maybe Riddler. But I don't think Batman's going to. And I think Selina's choice of either murder or doing something that upsets Batman is what leads to them separating at the end of the movie. So let's talk a little bit about the end of the movie. The epic climax of the film is when the Bat and the Cat are working together to save Gotham, and then something happens between the two of them where they part ways. I'm being told that the very end of the movie, where you see her, you know, putting her hand on Bruce's face, and he looks so sad, it's because they're parting ways. And then it would have like a solo shot of Batman like being alone and, you know, being all Batman-like. You can't have him be happy yet. It's the first movie. You have to, if you're building up a trilogy, you have to wait for Batman's happiness to happen. Introduce Catwoman in the first movie, have her gone in the second, and then at the end of the third, have her come back. Or have her, you know, have Batman guest star in her thing or something like that. But she's searching for things, obviously. She doesn't know what she wants to do. So I've been told that the end of the movie is going to be heartbreaking for a lot of people, especially after all the really jaw-dropping action that you see. And it's going to get people talking, but at the same time, you know, it's most likely Batman and Catwoman are parting ways. She could have done something that he doesn't agree with, like maybe she kills somebody, or, you know, maybe they just don't work out. Like, he can't be with her because of his mission, you know. He has to be that guardian, that solo guardian. And then, of course, things will change when Alfred has tickets for the circus or something. Who knows? I really think they're going to tease either the Gotham City Central show, essentially, on HBO Max with, you know, Jeffrey Wright, or they're going to tease the second Batman movie, which hasn't begun production. Although there is a circus that's involved. So that circus thing, at least originally, makes me think that there is some type of lead-in to Robin being in this franchise, and I'd be very excited about that. But yeah, spoilers are basically over. That's all I really have to say about the film. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. I know you guys have been asking for the Batman content, and I hope I delivered a little bit. I'm still like piecing together stuff, but I really wanted to share some of the things that I heard about some stuff, and hopefully it'll... I just had somebody randomly subscribe to my other channel while I'm working on this video. Okay, that's awesome. I love you, Streamlabs. That's cool. But yeah, anyway, people, thank you so much for watching. and listening. I have tons of cool videos coming your way, talking about all kinds of different topics. I'm trying to stay true to my mission statement this year of providing as much Batman content as possible, covering the news, talking about different Batman topics, doing mini lores until Gotham Knights comes out. And of course, after Gotham Knights comes out, I'm spamming your inboxes like there's no tomorrow. Multiple episodes a day, walkthroughs, solo playthroughs, lore videos, you name it. 2021 was supposed to be my year with Gotham Knights to revitalize this channel. So we're going to start small with just these little videos. And then, of course, do big epic lores and, you know, character breakdowns and all that other stuff again. But yeah, the Batman is coming. I hope you guys are excited. In the comment section below, tell me what you think about this little video talking about some spoilers about the movie that may or may not be in the film, other than the fact that Bruce, Eddie, and Selina are all childhood friends. And come up with your own theories how they all know each other. I want to say, like, maybe through church or through possibly, you know, the Waynes being corrupt, which I still don't like. And I have a essay video coming out why it is not a good idea to make the Waynes the villains and have Batman trying to redeem their actions instead of trying to live his own life and be the hero that Gotham needs to prevent anyone else from losing their parents to violence the way that he lost his parents. If it's just a story about how he needs to redeem his parents' actions, then it's not quite the same Batman story, and it really changes why Batman does what he does. It almost becomes kind of like a selfish mission rather than a mission that is for other people. And that's the big issue I have. But like I said, a video essay is coming for that, diving deep into that topic, and hopefully that'll be ready before the Matt Reeves movie comes out. But I don't know. Might be after. Anyway, guys and gals, thanks so much for watching. Be on the lookout for more news topics coming out soon, and I will see you in the next Batman video. Until then, God bless and happy gaming. Thanks so much for watching. Your #1 source for all things The Dark Knight in movies, TV, video games, films, and occasionally comic books. Later, Gothamites.